welcome back to Pisces TV with Dr. MB. Let's get started with your reading.
All right, my dear Pisces, this was a reading where the intentions were set on soul purpose. All right, your journey to self-discovery, to manifest, whatever the case may be. And I chose to use my Golden Dawn Ritual Tarot because I just did. We're going to get started. I'm going to take clarifiers and some bonus cards, so stay tuned for that. And I enjoyed it. I always learn a lot when I sit back and really focus on the goal at hand. Okay, really focus. So now you start out with the Princess of Cups. That makes a lot of sense. Since I'm with my water signs, you got the King of Cups with the Knight of Cups as well. And a lot of earth energy with some power. Okay. I will say overall, there's some leveling up and mastery that leads to success as well as victory. And it's like who you become in the near future, or like the aspect of yourself through transformation that's coming toward you, is the leader of victory, but also planning. And crowning you, you have like the epitome of solutions. So it should be fairly easy with practicality and habits to make this unexpected transformation for some of you as seamless as possible, and for others of you, as you incarnate it and you unlock past energies that may be useful in this life, your transformation or this card may be a little bit different. Some of us that have mastered the energies, and those energies may not be favorable, then there's like a separation and a transformative process that may need to happen. I will say that the Mars and Pisces, it won't end until April 30th, I believe. Heavily influenced in the reading because that's the Ten of Cups in the environment, which was insane. All right, but let me not scooch too fast. All right. You have the subconscious mind given substances that requires the image to emerge and materialize. The ruler of dreams. Love that. Artist. It has some energy of Venus into it. It's a very sensitive energy. So the situation at hand is very sensitive. It's delicate. Some of you, the hopes, wishes, and dreams, what you aspire to be, or your soul journey has a lot to do with some things that you may have experienced as a child. And others of you, that same comment that I made about what you experienced from childhood on up talks about the towers that we create with that energy and the beliefs that could be going through transformation or may need to change. Scorpio is asking for them. They gotta go. So schools, our government, parents, you know the routine. A lot of you guys are super smart and are advisors yourself. Okay. And the challenge, I wasn't surprised. The King of Cups for my Pisces is always about acceptance and a level of temperance, because I won't go in deep into it, but I have to acknowledge it because it came up habitually. But I think it's tyrannical, or like a violent nature, anger. It could also be the environment of Mars and Pisces is a strong passive aggression where there's an innocence, right? It could quickly become volatile. And if it's not you, just be mindful of the areas, the situations around us, the people around us, the spirits, the energies around us, okay? And other governing forces. The challenge could talk about like idle time and sometimes like being a little bit untruthful with ourselves, be it in our expectations or to others. And keep in mind, it could be people in your environment, because some of you, there's a strong recommendation to seek the mentorship. And if you have trust issues, that could be hard, but it's necessary, because we got a lot of pages and a lot of kings. So it tells me a lot about like entry level apprenticeships, and then advisory and mastery, even if there are some age differences. And just to give you a practical example, it's kind of like, would you rather try to figure something out and have a hard time because of how you understand things, how you comprehend things, the patience you have for things, whatever? Or you could like take instruction or advice from another person. And for some of you, those people could be younger, could be older, but it's in the reading somewhere, like wherever it fits for you, because there was advice to seek advice from possibly, if not an authority figure, just someone that has mastered it. Because we got 3 kings on your reading. Okay, you also have 2 pages. All right, pages talk about alliances, and they're in the situation and the focus. So it does talk about like harmony and balance, for me, in the dream and in the materializing. Those things have to be friends. Like that does have to happen, because we got a lot of water, a lot of creativity, a lot of the powerful energy that water allows us to draw from to even stimulate an imagination that brings forth an image, right? Because they talk about this. I talk about the wand a lot, or the fire a lot, and it talks about like imagination and image. But it took some form of water for the creativity and to even have the audacity to imagine before using that flame to start to materialize, right? So I think that that's kind of dope. That's also your strength. Okay. And for others, a challenge, right? Now this flash flood that could come from my King of Cups is crossing this tower, and so that's why I talked about unconscious aspects of us unexpectedly that could lead to outbursts, recalibrating our emotions or our reactions with emotional or intimate things, sensitive things. And it also talks about holding our focus for limited times. Now, if we're holding our focus for limited times, that could affect the manifestation process, because you may need to hold your focus through rain, sleet, or snow, through a windstorm, through something else creative I can think of, but I don't want to say because I get silly. So holding the focus could be a challenging aspect. And for some of us, the reason why we're not holding the focus could be past beliefs, like self-doubt, or dreaming and imagining something but not really feeling it and believing it or working toward it in a manner that is realistic, which could fall into our habits. So just kind of like be mindful of that, which takes me to our little page, my little divine child. Okay. Now it could be some people in this energy, even though this is for your journey, there could be others in the environment, since I'm talking to my divine child, who could be coming into material happiness. There may be some people from the past that think you are inexperienced and that they can finesse. Be mindful of that, where you can feel safe because of some of your beliefs. Some of us don't like to react a certain way. And I think this duality right here with the Chariot could be necessary when it comes to that kind of energy, because the Chariot is the master of opposing forces and knows how to handle them things, right? All these different horses. So the knights and the kings and all of this different energy, the Chariot has supreme focus, actually, that allows it So it's autopilot. That's what I'll be calling it. The reason why it's known to be phenomenal in driving opposing forces with ease is because it's autopilot. They also say it's like the throne of God, right? So it's that higher self, God, source energy, that's actually in control, and you just kind of like in the seat. I like that, and I've experienced it. It kind of feels uncomfortable sometimes because you lack control, and my King of Cups is sometimes control freak, right? Gotta know what the unknown is, gotta know everything. So just be mindful of that. And with the Scorpio energy, where that frustration could lead to the acting out, that's different from, like, I know Virgos have that same kind of energy a little bit, and they have like nervous energy that gives them trust issues, but they don't really act it out. They kind of take it out on themselves, in my opinion. But for Scorpio, the Knight of Cups or King of Cups, it's definitely expressed. Okay, so I'll just leave that there. Also in the focus, it talks about the benefit that some of you have to manifest something unexpectedly. I've experienced that too. So to give you an example, it's like it doesn't make sense. Like I could work real hard, right, day and night, which is what the page could do sometimes, and nothing comes of what I was working toward. And then when I'm not working as hard, not really like embedded into it in a real serious, like aggressive manner, things happen for me. I've even got little treats out of life for having outbursts, but I feel like those outbursts were probably rewarded because I had confidence or saw the value in myself, against people who thought that, I was just somebody to play with. And then, which one of these cards? I believe is down here somewhere, so we're going to get there when it comes to the catalyst, that fuck around and find out energy, where if it's not you, something or someone in the environment is a catalyst. And that's here. So just keep that in mind. I think Spirit was like, you're going off focus, little mama, because the recording just cut out and cut back in. So I'm like, okay, I'm going to bring it back in. Or maybe that was super important. There could be a catalyst in the environment. Okay? Let me move on before the shit cut off again. A benefit and or just something I thought was really important, was in the page before we get off of her, was this capacity to renew with this death card here. I learned that today. That's not something that I normally pick up when I have the Page of Pentacles. So she represents a cycle completed, but there's also a new cycle forming. So it's just kind of like, once you've done one thing, here we go. We're about to pick up something else. And that's why I appreciate her energy, because what I will say about the Page, or the energy, I'll say that. What I appreciate about the energy, the habits, working through the night, getting stuff done, like the ability to maneuver and almost like this autopilot energy, regardless of what we feel or what we think or the outside experiences or anything else. It's just this meticulous, organized, habitual consistency, and I like that. For some of us, that's a need that we have, that energy. She's also connected to Aries and talks about beginning another cycle. That's why she has the Ram. I love these cards. Okay, not shade, but to me, as a Jew, don't block me, mysticism, and like when it comes to like God and soul purpose and stuff, it has like so many interesting aspects into it that my observation agrees with. I'll say that. I won't say, oh, so many facts. But do you see how they put that there? And isn't it ironic that I haven't used these cards the whole time I've been back, weeks and weeks and weeks. Okay, just like 3 weeks. And these are my personal cards for me, just like the Wild Unknown. They strike me, and I just share them with you guys. But yeah, she has the ram with wings. We are in Aries season. And like I said, the 10 of Cups literally is a time frame of Mars and Pisces, which it is right now. See, I don't miss a beat for y'all. I be trying to figure out, like, for real, what's up, instead of just like, oh yeah, rawr. No shade. I just want you guys to know that I love you and I appreciate you. Every time you show up and pull up, and even when you don't, I always have my highest regard for the collective. All right. Another thing, I didn't know that the Page of Pentacles was like actually one of the most feminist of energies. I was like, wow. And Source knows that my curiosities and how I could be kind of like, you know, this 10 of Cups, even though it's like the King of Cups energy, I know the Queen of Cups, you know, with the Empress, to kind of be like the most feminine of energies when it comes to this social norm nature, right? Because the Queen of Swords is the epitome of feminine energy to me, because it talks about intellect. But I know a lot of people in this day and age won't see it that way, so we just gonna move on. But the Page is also considered a maiden. The maiden isn't the mother or the crone, so that's where she gets her apprenticeship thing from, right? So we're focused on something new. We're focused on opportunities, new beginnings, or where we need to focus, because some of us, because of past efforts or something that could be coming in the near future, has awarded you that there may be something new in your life. A phone call, an email, a letter, a text, internet post, an idea, right? That's your next step. That's your new door. Past, you got the King, okay? And some of the stuff we want to leave in the past because it's a dull energy of a jealous nature, sometimes not very courageous, but calm, practical, and it chooses instinct over intellect. But there's something about the near future that is going to call for a little bit of intelligence and possibly emotional intelligence, but we'll see. Okay, I just wanted to point that out. So why it's a beautiful energy, because it's mastery. I love the King of Pentacles. This is the advisor, the mentor. But sometimes, especially with this Knight of Cups energy and all these cups right here, that person only became a mentor because they didn't do it. So they just took what they did experience before they quit or gave up and shared it with others. That's cool. No shade. I'm just going over the cards. But it's kind of slow, sluggish. The benefit is expansion and rebirth. So wherever you fall in this, because all of you guys are different. Loss and regenerative. Like the King of Pentacles can't handle rebirth well. So for some of you, this is a thing that you may have mastered in the past life, and you focused on being new and learning, but it's something that you've done. For some of you, it's something that you've done. Finding opportunities in the things that you've done. Because this energy often gets distracted, leaves things behind. So we just want to be mindful of that. Now, the strength. We have rebirth within itself, which is the equalizer of all solutions, and I love that. So plan development, habits, equalizing for the solution, which is going to require calm emotions, contentment, and ease, as well as this almost naive trust and innocence in life, no matter how fast or slow that it's going. Because the dolphin is kind of like the energy for, I think, some of the first beings that were here. Just like the jellyfish and the orca family, those are like the ancient. And for you to be possibly a descendant of the most ancient, and maybe at another time in another dimension have mastered the things that you kind of worry about in his life, is very, I think, I ain't gonna say it's cool, but I appreciate that, because that's why there's in the environment a happy ending to the story, even with this tower moment. But for some of you, it's not a tower moment. For others of you, it may be. If it's another person specifically, yes. And if it involves your purpose, like I said, the intention zone, we're gonna talk about it. But yeah, Scorpio here. The reason why, Pisces, some of you have gotten the 5s, right? I posted it in the community board. We had 2 readings where it came up. Those were possibly areas where transformation may be needed, because going through my ritual tarot, the Golden Dawn process, and the more ancient approach to tarot, Scorpio is also connected to 5s. And some of you may have known that, but being that I do modern tarot mostly, I didn't really factor that in. So I thought that was kind of cool, that the death card talks about the 5 extremities, and they kind of pointed them out in the card, where I think it was, let me count my fingers because I'm slow. It was like the head, the feet, the he, the pentagram, and this other thing, something unseen moving it. So that's the 5. Something unseen moving it is the storyline of the Chariot, because it's God's throne. You don't see God, but it's God's throne. So check that out, the unseen. So this could be spirit. If you're questioning, what is this energy with me, or what is dreams coming from? I mean, I ain't trying to stretch it, but technically, given the interpretation of the card in the guidebook, this is like God. So that's crazy. I mean, it's goofy, but I'm gonna say it because it's a thought that popped into my mind that I don't think was my own. And I just thought about fear of God, like the clothing line. I don't know why. Because this is, some of you, it's in the approach, but I know the way it's positioned, it looks like the hopes and fears. So I thought about fear of God. Anyway, it's more like the approach though. So yeah, like the King of Cups as well as the King of Pentacles, the shadow energy of the death card or Scorpio can be stagnant. So here is the strength of the matter, where there's a knowing, and we can transform that archetype, because that stagnant energy, that dull energy, that slow energy could be hindering and possibly affecting, if we're talking about our habits and the details involved in our situation, which is our success, our happiness. And it's not just consciously in our dreaming state, because we got that. It also involves the physical and intellect with a lot of fire, because you got the water of fire for both of these and some fire over here. And each one of these kings, all 3 of them, have a connection and some sort of armor that's much like the King of Wands, even though he's absent. And that talks about an absent father. So I don't even know. That's something that I just thought about. That the only king that isn't here is the King of Wands. The King of Wands is who puts the seeds out. But in this reading, it pointed out to the King of Pentacles kind of being like right under him for some reason, because the King of Pentacles puts the seeds into life in a sense, and these seeds are also shown in the death card, where you see like the little babies or little eggs or whatever. You see that the serpent that's connected to the Oh, this is crazy. I didn't even look at it like this. We finna look at this because it's just beautiful. So the serpent that's connected to the spinal cord of this skeleton also talks about that kundalini energy, which is necessary, and the skeleton clearly accomplished that. I never noticed that there's 4 arms. 2 are crossed over the heart and 2 are open. So it's like I've done it all. Life or death, traditional, rebel, good or evil. There's that. There's some sort of guarding though, over the heart. That's funny. Like, why are the arms crossed? But it gives me like that occult anatomy where, you know, the man has the 2 legs, the 2 arms. And I think it represents like the human that has connected to spirit, which is also, look at that. And the King of Wands is missing. The Emperor is not here, but 13 is 4. So if we were talking about the Emperor, but not in physical form, some of you could have an ancestor or in a past life even be a person that may have completed certain levels of mastery in life. And I think that is so super dope. To be in the lineage of ascended masters and archangels. That does happen, and we have talked about that. That could be trying to stimulate you mentally, to help in the energy, the stability, and the intelligence. Because for some of us, I knew that was coming. And I'm silly, so how I talk to source or spirit when I'm getting ready for your readings is some things I won't lie that I won't say out loud, because not all of you know me well enough to know that I'm silly and don't take it personally. But so I'll say this with tact. When I saw these cards and him challenging with this, like in a near future energy, I felt that intelligence would be necessary, where this is like more common sense and being practical. This is more dream state, imaginative and innocent. So when I saw this, one of the smartest archetypes in this deck outside of the Queen of Swords, but also one of the most violent, okay, and irritated and temperamental, which could be on the rise with Aries season and March and Pisces. But I said that there was a transformation in the calibration of your brain. Like, that's necessary. It may sound odd. I know this ain't one of our star seed readings, but neurology, meditation, the reason why on the dollar sign the tip of the triangle is separated from the trapezoid. Okay, and everybody say we in a trap. You got to get that tipping point. But that's another story, another channel, another reading that I'm going to do. And you can subscribe and hit the notification bell so you'll be there. All right, let's move it. As far as here, it talks about, like I said, something unseen is moving the skeleton, of course, because it's nothing. There's no flesh and bone. You got the wings behind it. And this does kind of look like, why do I keep talking about clothes? Because I thought about fear of God, and this looks like true religion symbol, but I'm thinking about Ophiuchus, even though it's the phoenix. When you look closer, it's a bird, but it does kind of look like that. That is insane. You'd be surprised. But what is it, Ophiuchus? Even though the symbol looks a lot bit different, that's crazy. Another thing that I wanted you guys to notice is the 2 towers here. One with the crab, I think. The other with a dragon child. I don't know what that is, but you see the 2 little purple shindakos there? There are 2 towers here. And then we have a tower with 2 trees here. And it's a long story about the trees here. So in the focus in the past, where it has something to do with good and bad, or spirituality and practicality or something like that. But we're going to get to that because these 10 cups are here and there's 10 lights on this tree, which was interesting to me because the environment has a lot to do with the right side of this card. So yeah, moving forward, you got this King of Swords here, one of my faves. I love Gemini. This is the near future. Be mindful of like overly paying attention to small things. Be mindful of the shadow in us or the things from others that could be leading to violence, tyranny, instability, deceit, and moving too fast and being irritated. Because the beauty is she got a Taurus in her a tortoise in her cup and a lily, right? Lilies are still in that pond. Tortoises, they have protected shells. They're connected to the hermit who goes within. They move slow and still win races, just like the Knight of Pentacles, right? It's in her cup. So there's something about slow and steady. And that's what allows her, because she's inexperienced, to get things. And I think she has a high capacity to be able to do that, which is why she's a court card, right? But in the future, for some of us, if we're in the shadow energy of Scorpio, that moving fast and tyrannical energy, I don't like some aspects of reality. They're not my favorite, I'll say that. So with this energy, I thought about like crash and burn. And I'm not talking about anything negative or wishing anything negative, but that literally came through my mind when I didn't want it to. And I have to be honest and share things with you. So that could be transportation, because this chariot is right here. So just be mindful of that. No drinking and driving, dudes. And then we not paying attention or see something we like okay. It also talks about the downloads and the new idea and the information. So just be mindful of that. Now, as we move through Gemini, okay, where it does talk about our personality undergoing a transmutation from the Scorpio energy, and those personalities or archetypes could be things that I've described, the small things, the deceit, the violence, the agitation. The beautiful part is the astral realm. So some of you guys have like an invitation to spirit. You guys may have a connection to the astral realm. And that's where I talked about ascended masters and archangels and all that kind of stuff. I always say meditate, but I'm going to say it again. Meditate. The astral realm, if you're alive and physical, I mean, you're going to have to go into a separate state of unconsciousness, which there's unconscious energy all right here. So subconscious and unconscious doesn't always mean the same thing, but we can talk about that later. I like that. I like the astral realm. And it's also the first spark of the intellectual imagination. And it's also the easily sidetracked and distracted energy. So it's like, which one it ain't no which one. That could be where the transformations are happening. How about that? Because intellectual sparks, I think they would have more sense. Whereas the non-intellectual, non-practical sparks could lead to that 7 of cups, where we just got a bunch of cups with random shit we done thought about and manifested or felt. And that's why this card represents clarity and cutting through the fog, when the 7 of cups literally is the fog. So I get that. And like the Emperor and Scorpio, as well as the King of Cups, like the Emperor, the Death card, and the King of Cups, the King of Swords shares, and Aries, the head. So literally the head on your body, according to occult anatomy. And it also could talk about like that. I mean, you could be figuratively speaking with the head, like head of household, but it talks about the head, which like this. I'm not being figurative, talking about taxes and nothing like that. So they all share that. Where that's weird. Do you know like Scorpio does represent like the nose? And I wonder why, like even in Egypt or the haters that cut the noses off, or like anytime you see skeletons, of course, because the cartilage is gone. But have you noticed that? So I think that just refers to the spirit or the skeleton in Scorpio. So maybe that's why Scorpio on the according to like some mysticism represents literally the nose. Anyway, right, it's like we didn't ask for that. Great. Moving forward, here's that power of the waters, right? Even though it's a chariot, and I always talk about, thanks to Starman Tarot, it's driven by the King of Wands. Yeah. This is the power of the water. This is the benefit of opposing forces and having the capacity to drive them. She's so innocent and trusting. So yeah, God can come right on in and you would trust it. Where like Moses and some other archetypes and personalities had difficulties with that trust. Had difficulties because they were so logical and so practical and so intelligent that just don't make sense. And unfortunately, it didn't work out for them. So these energies are not too bad. Just want to point that out. Unless it's that extra cup that you don't need when you get into the car for to go somewhere already feeling loose. Don't do that. So anyway, the advice. Understand when you're acting upon severity when something is important. And what's important, you might want to scroll back to where we talked about idle, Pisces and Aquarius cusp. So sometimes, oh no, that's over here. Sorry, I bet the King of Pentacles is like, yo, where we talked about the calm demeanor, where we talked about providing, being practical, but overly intellectual probably isn't favorable. Slow or selfish isn't favorable, but expansion and rebirth is right next to expansion and rebirth. So I do like that. So it just understands what is severe in this situation. What have I talked about that you feel? Okay, deep down. All right. It also connects to Saturn through Mars. I'm sorry, Saturn through Cancer upon Mars. Mars is doing a lot, honey. And I'm not saying that because it's April. It's real. Because I got another treat for you. Another surprise that's absolutely insane. But anyway, because, you know, X is 10 in Roman numerals. I'm just gonna bust it open. Fuck it. Y'all know the whole X thing that we were talking about with the 7. There goes the 7. Oh, fuck me. Look, the 7 planets and was doing something, and they crossed a certain place like 2017, and then this year they crossed, and then there's a point, and so it looks like an X. Yeah, remember we talked about that? Google it. You got a 10 in the center, and the details of that 10 are currently sparking like conversations in the religious or spiritual world as far as what they mean, because the point in which the X crossed was a name of a town or a name of a place or something like that, that I can't remember, where it talked about, I think, a raft or something. And these energies of these specific characters in shadow are very violent and wrathful. I don't know what that has to do with nothing. Then it's like, well, God is in control. Then we got the house of God over here with this cup. So I think about that 144. Like them people that's gonna be alright no matter what. Anyway, that was just some random. You hear, you witnessed it, but I'm gonna stick to the people that came for their souls, right? And they possible what they may resonate with in their lives. So back to the powers of the water. next to your highest achievements and perfections. And see, these people, where you should focus at, and then the things that you've mastered from the past says that you've perfected something that may need tweaking right now. You've perfected it before. So that's why high achievements and perfection is sometimes guaranteed. And I'm Freemason. People know that. I'm an Eastern Star, Scottish Rite. And perfection at some times talks about temperance. Right? Temperance requires a supreme balance of masculine and feminine. And it's one of these cards up here. I don't want to get it wrong. Has that. It's up here. You can screenshot the shit, but you won't call my bluff. I'm positive. So a very good balance of feminine and masculine is required in your situation. And if I haven't gotten to it yet, maybe it's not these cards, but it's one of them. So anyway, beside that, moving through phases with ease, because once you complete one, it's another one, baby. Some of us playing catch up. That's just what it is. But if God is with you and driving you, like, you should be very trusting and with the shit, right? For lack of a better phrase. Because it's God or your higher self or whatever you came to this reading believing in. So it's like, if you really believe in it, what's the problem? But I be telling stories. I be like, people really don't believe, man. They just be saying it. They used to saying it or whatever. But that's just me. It talks about constant movement. I thought that was interesting, where we got habits, and then we got like some sluggish energy, and then we got like what might need to change or transform. We got to move some, because some of us may be sensitive emotionally, some of us may be sensitive physically, mentally, and we got to do what we got to do to get that together, to get to the highest achievement and the perfection. Or some of you that say, nobody perfect, I'll never be perfect. Okay, your highest achievement. This energy is better with opposites than it is with if everything was perfect in the first place. So that's kind of cool. Now moving to Mars and Pisces right here. This time frame lasts up until like April 30th. It's in the environment. It talks about material happiness inspired from above. What's above? Your focus. So your material happiness directly has something to do with where you're focusing and what your habits are. Yup. See how spirituality, there's no cheating. There's work here too. I thought that somebody told me that, and I still don't like them for telling me that. Because they made it seem like I was trying to get out of the workforce or get out of reality, because it could be challenging. And so I thought spirituality was just going to fall out of the sky. I ain't going to lie, I did. But them telling me that, I ain't like them for it. But over time, now that I'm at where I'm at, I respect it. And I'm glad they said it. It was kind of like a message or a warning, even though I was just like, fuck off for a long time. It's true. So if you feel like telling me to fuck off, I get it. I've been there. See here. So yep, that's what we got here. Smack dab in the center of the reading. The tree of life is complete. And so what I thought was cute was there's several trees. Some of you have had many lifetimes, and I think I counted 12 pieces of bark coming out the bottom. I think everything is significant. The 12 in this case is connected to the hangman. The hangman is who in the loop, and I think we're trying to get out the loop. But some of you have incarnated and been this apprentice many times, and so anybody who has been in life many times as an apprentice is definitely a master on this dimensional level, because you've seen things over and over and over. Or you've had more time to do things over and over and over, even if we don't remember, which we did have a reading earlier today, Pisces, where we talked about memory loss and stuff like that. It was crazy with the Queen and the King of Wands, and notice they ain't even showed up. So maybe this is like divine, and all them other little energies that be distracting us and playing with us, they doing something else, which is great. All right, so we have success in the material plane. The tree of life is complete. So in the environment, the tree of life may be complete. There's some success in the material plane. That's what the cards say, not me, because I'm being brutally honest about it all, and I just appreciate that. We have the Knight of Cups, which is also connected to Scorpio through the Scorpion on his chariot, and it's a square, which is connected to the Emperor, which is the head, like Scorpio. So it all makes sense. And then he got wheels. He didn't have the horses, but he definitely got the wheels. They're not opposing. They're going in the same direction. And what I appreciate is that unlike the horse, which is cool, he is being driven by the eagle. And eagle's pretty cool. Eagles don't fool with everybody. Eagles gonna keep you right. Eagles, they different from like some birds who just seem like symbolic to messages or little pick-me-ups from the divine that says that I'm here. Eagles are something. They got a different perspective. And this is your approach to take to it. Being guided by a higher intelligence and a more mature perspective. Because it's something possibly in you or in the environment that it triggers the fuck out of you for this tower moment, or all of this violence or tyranny or immature emotions that I picked up that I said I really didn't care about spending a lot of time on. It's a lot of destructive energy. Actually, it said tremendous destructive energy, especially him. But it was going over the good parts. Unfortunately, like some of this energy, it does recalibrate or rediscuss. Look at me just trying to use random words. It does talk about that stagnant energy, so we want to be mindful of that. Some of us don't like when things slow down, and in the focus we looking at how things slowing down, and that could cause some opposing forces within you that's going to lead you to this tower that is the first step in this transformation. Because why is that happening? If we trying to be our highest self. And so sometimes we ignite the experience in this life that sometimes are involuntary and uncomfortable, but we ignite it by our perspective, our reaction, or something within our subconscious. So knowing that, I think the people who don't give a fuck about nothing, and it's not negative or out of spite or angry, I think they probably some of the safest people on this planet. They don't really react. They don't fear nothing. They don't care, but it's not bad. I think that's very healthy. If you don't care and then you act out in a way of disregard, that's abrasive. I think that's inappropriate as hell. But when you just don't have negative care, I think that that's super dope. And so I'm personally, I work on that. I'm a solution-based thinker. And this is, what did it say? It said this is the solution here for you, and it's crowning you. So you guys are solution-based thinkers too. It's just something in that subconscious could distract you from this God autopilot that have you living your best life, and then something creep up. Okay. But at the same time, what I see is some of us, it don't creep up out of some subconscious shambako. Some of you, it just seems practical. Like we can't be dancing in clouds all the time, and we came in the reading dancing in clouds, so that makes sense. However it works for you, wherever you fit. We have here this tower. Now the cool thing I wanted to tell you guys about was we just had a conjunction with Saturn and Mars, and it only happens every 2 years. And it's something significant about like leap years and the things that happen like 2 years before, 2 years after type of thing. Some of your victories and successes could be connected to something that may have happened in the last 2 years. And if you've taken my course, you know, yes, shameless plug, the tower is connected to a timing of 2 years. So I thought that was crazy to pop up with Mars and Pisces in the center of your reading. So Mars, ideas. This is the fight and the light. And that's why you see the two towers where they have the light on one side and what seems to be like the Kabbalah or spiritual energy on the other side. There's like this extra button. I noticed. It's kind of interesting because like it's an extra one down there. Notice it's at the bottom, so that's we'll have to talk about that another day. But yeah, it says 10 circles and 11 dark ones. This is the light and the tree of life. This is our potential and or outcome for some. It symbolizes pure spiritual force, the pure spiritual force that we want to autopilot us so that we can have the habits and also the determination to manifest this offer into fruition and out of the subconscious into this planet, and not just in your hopes, wishes, and dreams. Yeah? Cool. The tower is the first path, the most difficult path, because it involves sudden and complete destruction of old realities. Your own beliefs build up since you were a child. Programming, old realities are changed forever. Some of you is sexual energy and others of you is destruction and danger. So just be mindful, if it's an offer coming from Casanova, it's going to be some strong sexual energy, I suppose. Child, they want to be in control or borrow your car. I don't know. I don't see Tyrone. I don't know what Tyrone's sign was in that song. But this was good. And every time I say I'll take clarifiers at the end, at the beginning, I don't need to. But I will. Because they're pretty. These are some other ones that you don't see often. And I like them. So we have Lord of Material Works and the Administrative Intelligence. Now, who else but the Pentacle suits are the best administrators? Even though this lady in the world card is Aquarius. I love that. We are in the age of Aquarius, and it says Lord of Material Works with the 3 of Pentacles. So coming out of the momentum of the 2 of Pentacles, the juggling, the staying busy, the habits that I just said may be beneficial. The 3 of Pentacles talks about pouring out a cup. And when we do that, the unfavorable aspect was these could be negative things causing decay in the waters of the subconscious that need to be blown out, washed out, so that we can complete life, complete a cycle, get out the loop or whatever. And then another thing that I know is connected to this card is also the 4 beings or the 4 corners, where you have, I think, Aquarius, there go the eagle, okay, the Taurus and Leo. So that's very interesting. Where my little thing at? In this deck, right, because that's a major arcana, so it's a collaboration and a completion, okay. And that's weird. I have to be honest, because y'all like when I'm honest, but this reminds me of what Nipsey said when he was like, I threw some things into the universe and he was like, they weren't worth it, but they fair. I miss him. So anyway, the other thing that I was going to bring up was, because it's a major arcana, this is the great one of nighttime. For some of you, that's like one of the night goddesses in esoteric teachings. It is too connected to Saturn as well as cosmic consciousness. It's connected to dominion and slavery too. So I don't know how we're going to factor that in. But them indigo babies, because the color indigo is connected to the card, and it talks about the space being the center. And I did get some modern energy up there. I don't know why. I did. In my studies, I didn't say it because it didn't make sense, and it probably had nothing to do with any of y'all. But the way that Scorpio came in, or the death card came in, I was just like, I didn't like how surrenderous it was. I didn't like some things, but I can't even remember now, and I guess for good reason. But that's crazy that came up. So yeah, this deck is a little bit different too. That's why I chose to look at it, because it wouldn't be like the typical things that we would talk about in like modern, because this is like deep. This is your soul. It's like ancient, It may involve some theology, or it may involve metaphysics or the quantum realm. The astro realm is what it said. So yeah, I'm going to try to do my best to get what's fitting for your questions and concerns when I do the readings. And the Three of Pentacles talks about material increase, financial gain, and maturation, as well as construction. So I love that. Don't you? Don't you like that for yourself? Now for some of us where we have loss of pleasure, at the bottom of the deck, health improvements. And then we have, are those 2 10s? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Yep. You got 2 10s. 2 10s do talk, that is crazy. Wait, let me make sure. 3, 6, 9, 10. Yeah. Doesn't this look like, oh, this may be the 2 ways we're going to go about it. That's the 2 worlds. That's like rock bottom. And this is the creme de la creme. That is insane. That's the 2 ways. I mean, that's what I feel. Because we have Lord of Wealth, which is also a good health card. And then we have Lord of Ruin, which also talks about physical pain. So just be mindful of that, I guess, as there are alchemical shifts in some of you. You could notice some discomforts. Okay? Let me get a clarifier. Don't do me like that, Spirit. He's like, okay. Okay, I was right there. Let me get a clarifier for the 10 of Swords. Okay, that was it. Lord of Dominion. Oh, and see, this talked about dominion. So there's one where dominion, there's spirit, there's God or something. So it's like what the world is like, oh my God, being a slave in the world, or like connecting. I think that's the new age. I guess that's the new world order. Now I'm getting weird, and I want to dig into these cards when we talk about our starseed stuff. But don't you see that, like, the people that connect to source or follow the advice to do this thing have one situation, and then the dominium, which this world card represents, is over here with ruin. And so some people could take the tower as a ruin, or some people could take the tower as what it takes to get to your everything you come to these readings for type deal. So that's focusing on the physical manifestation coming in, and not the distractions that normally knock him off his roster where he can't finish the race. That makes sense to me. What was I trying to see real quick? Oh yeah, let me see, because I'm gonna get out of here. I said I was gonna do a 30-minute reading because the rest of them been an hour long. All right, so we have motivation rooted in wisdom, actively cultivating a creative process, productivity, divine masculine energy. So I believe that's gonna take us through that 10 sword energy. That's gonna get us up. That's gonna get us through it. The 10 of Swords here points to painful experiences, misfortune, but thank you, book, because for some of you it's the end of delusion. This masculine energy, we did talk about that, some balancing out so that we can have the intelligence and the focus on details, as well as the energy to be practical in this life, to move forward with the things that we have in our dream state and in our subconscious, the stuff in our heart. God is not just gonna, it could, I ain't gonna speak for it, but all I'm saying is to accomplish some things that some of you maybe wanted to accomplish, because these cards and these thoughts that I got wouldn't have came up. There's a level of intelligence, a level of trust, a level of transformation. There's practicality, there's habits, there's details, but there's also your strength, which is the water. Without the water, none of this could happen. But overstaying in the shadow energies of the waters unfavorable for whatever you're wanting. So, I like it. I hope you do too. Until next time.
For more information on products and services, visit PiscesTV.com.